Hello and welcome back to Metaverse. For today's video, we're gonna be talking about why Metaverse is the worst idea. Let's get started. What does the metaverse actually mean? Although it's a term that frequently used these days, we doubt many people fully understand what it means. One of the most vocal supporters of the metaverse is Mark Zuckerberg, a man who somewhat resembles a cyborg in appearance and behavior. He even renamed his business to Meta, indicating that he is confident that we would all embrace his vision of a technological utopia. He basically only refers to a broader cyber area, where our technology will enable us to be more connected than ever before he talks about this location, this new type of tech cosmos. But how could our connections be any stronger than they currently are? Our lives will involve more virtual and augmented reality. As a result, you might have an avatar in the metaverse, for instance, and interact with other avatars there. Consider the scenario of an online meeting. Although it can appear like a group of avatars are interacting with one another, the setting is really realistic. The goal is to give you the impression that virtual reality is authentic. Similar scenes can be found in tech dystopian television program Black Mirror. In one or a few of these instances, it is more evident how people live in this alternate reality. They occasionally receive points for their actions in this metaverse. Sometimes you're motivated to do those things because there's a payoff. We call this gamification. You've already seen things close to that, like when you get badges for using certain tech. The reward is supposed to keep you going back to that application or page. It shows others how great you are. In the metaverse, you'll never stop competing to gain more points. You might also gain other virtual items, and those items can be traded, sold, or given away on various platforms. In a true metaverse, you'd have the ability to trade with anyone. This avatar of yours will be able to interact with other avatars across all platforms. Hence, you'd be in a metaverse. The metaverse, then, is essentially a way for us to become more technologically immersed through the use of apps combined with augmented and virtual reality equipment. Similar to how you do in some video games like The Sims, you integrate into this other universe. But this time, it's your life at stake, not it's just a game. Imagine that you had a team of people working together at home, much as we do at the infographics show, but they hardly ever interact. A number of virtual characters congregate during meetings. Maybe when you do something good, your virtual character gets a virtual pat on the back in the form of a virtual reward that can be exchanged for something of value in the real world. These virtual offices, we are told, are the future of work. Hell, virtual schools could be the future. Microsoft is already on this. When Mesh for Microsoft Teams is released in 2022, holograms will be able to collaborate virtually. When using Mesh, Microsoft claims there will be a sense of presence. You'll feel as though you're actually there thanks to your avatar. Though not quite, it will be just like being among humans, let's say the infographics show boss, along with the writers and editors. Want to talk about why our metaverse video was so popular and why the writer is so cool. In the normal world, that would sometimes mean sending files to certain people or chatting within an application. But all we will ever see is a name and some text or maybe some video. For Microsoft, that's not good enough. The company thinks people will work a lot better and be more creative if all the avatars discuss ideas in this virtual world. Here are some selling points Microsoft offers. Connect with new depth and dimension. Engage with eye contact, facial expressions, and gestures. Your personality shines as technology fades away. This common understanding ignites ideas, sparks creativity, and forms powerful bonds. Looking as usual like data, from Star Trek, Mark Zuckerberg outlined what he thought the metaverse would be in a video. As always, Zucks use a lot of flowery language regarding us being closer together in a world of greater richness. We'll be able to feel present, he explained, like we're right there with people no no matter how far apart we actually are. He talked about the joyful, completely immersive way we'll communicate. Just listening to him felt like taking a hint of virtual heroin. He mentioned that with the help of headsets and other tech, when we share videos, we'll feel like we're in a room with people in the video. When we play, we'll feel like we're in a game itself, not just looking at it on a screen. When Charlie Brooker wrote Black Mirror, he had already seen this world, but for him it was a nightmare. It was everything that's wrong with the world, like a 19th century British poet, rather than be more out of this world. Brooker would say we should be getting closer to nature. Still, according to Zuckerberg, the metaverse isn't about spending more time looking at screens, but having a better experience when we use our devices. He failed to mention that some of his applications have been called digital opiates, even by some former Facebook employees. As usual, he didn't talk about how much money he will make. He wants you more connected, which will mean spending more money in his universe and making Zooks richer than he already is. The fact is, this more immersive world will make you more addicted. In 2022, writing for the New York Times, the technophobia novelist Jonathan Franzen wrote about this issue of us becoming addicted to tech. At the time, he obviously didn't know about the metaverse, but we think he saw one coming. Here's a snippet from the article. Quote, to speak more generally, the ultimate goal of technology, the telos of techne, is to replace a natural world that's indifferent to our wishes, a world of hurricanes and hardships and breakable hearts, a world of resistance with a world so responsive that our wishes as to be effectively a mere extension of the self. Unquote. You see, you won't have to be yourself in the metaverse. You will be replaced by an avatar, and that avatar, as Franzen says, won't experience some of the very human things we feel in the real world. At first, this will feel great for you. You'll settle right in. But then one day you'll find yourself wanting to stay in this place of easy streets and forego reality. As Franzen wrote, quote, the verb to like, unquote. On social media, he changed from a state of mind to an action that you can perform with your computer mouse, from a feeling to an assertion of consumer choice. You yourself will dedicate your time to being liked in this virtual world, creating an unreal character, and this won't make you happy. No longer will you laugh at meetings at work, but your character will laugh. Maybe you're comparing Jonathan Franzen to one of those looted folks from England who went around factories during the Industrial Revolution smashing up machines because they didn't like the idea of machines replacing them. You are thinking that the metaverse is just an extension of the internet that will undoubtedly help you to buy more things, and it might just help you to be more productive when you work. It will enable you to look at someone's video of a concert online, and then you can use your avatar to feel like you're at the concert too. It sounds great, and Franzen, you think, is a snob from another age. The metaverse is surely coming, despite the numerous warnings from the authors like Franzen about how deadly it will be. According to an article in Forbes, you spending an excessive amount of time wearing a headset while sitting in a room may not be the best thing for your health. As the Forbes article's author correctly concluded, it might not work perfectly if you spend a lot more time online than you already do. In fact, your online life might take up most of your real life. You will waste away on the couch like a rotten apple in a compost heap. You will not be able to stop. Whoever owns the metaverse owns you. It will be more powerful than a drug, more addictive than TV, more alluring than an oasis in a time of great thirst. It will have you running on a virtual treadmill and attending your friend's funeral from 50 miles away. Let's now discuss love. We all require a small amount of affection in our life. Let's face it, did you know that fewer people are currently engaged in long-term partnerships as a result of dating apps like Tinder? Instead of dating, you consume photos within an app, according to Vox magazine, who claims the, quote, consumerism has seized courtship. Many people spend a lot of time on apps chatting with someone they won't actually meet. If they don't meet you face to face, they'll never know you. Used a photo editor to transform your imperfect face, and they won't know that in real life, you stutter a little bit. It's safer staying your distance, but in the end, this relationship is completely unfulfilling. That's likely one reason why so many young people are so depressed these days. Now imagine how dating and love would be transformed if Zuckerberg is right. What if in the metaverse you really feel like you are with someone else when you're both just avatars? Will you ever take the risk of meeting face to face? As the writer for Vox says, when you spend time in the unreal world with someone else, there's a loss of communication with your own emotions, which is sad because emotional connection is supposed to be the point of dating. Unlike real life, in the metaverse you'd gain rewards for dating and gain more points for buying something for your date. You'd become a product, one that's reviewed and one that goes to great lengths to accrue more points. Your point score might actually attract more people to you, and those with fewer points might have to sit on the proverbial shelf. While in the real life, good old-fashioned dating is more complex than that. You will become a slave in the metaverse, doing things just to amass more points so you can impress someone and perhaps one day give them a virtual hug. Maybe when you go to the virtual office, you can receive virtual compliments about getting to first base with a bunch of ones and zeros all the time when you are virtually dating and maybe buying stuff online for your virtual lover. You're spending virtual currency. And guess who takes a cut of every transaction? Mr. Zuckerberg, of course. So no wonder he looks so over the moon with the metaverse. That's not to mention that in the metaverse, everything you do is surveilled. For God's sake, don't curse or blaspheme or speak your mind and offend someone, because that could get you locked out of many of the places you'll want to be. In the metaverse, there are rules, and you, my friends, will abide by them. That's why the metaverse will be a constellation of boring drones, not real people who have nuance to their personalities. What will become of all those who cannot even afford to participate in Metaverse? They believe that if they are not in the Metaverse, they will be practically homeless and unemployed. Employers will request your Metaverse handle and ask to view your score. For Zuckerberg, the Metaverse is a utopia, and it might be for a man that has about as much personality as a plug. The Metaverse will exploit the vulnerable, the lonely, and the weak. We doubt Zuckerberg really thinks this way though. He's just in a position to monopolize your weaknesses. To use Facebook parlance, Zuckerberg is in the process of mounting a coordinated attack to devour your existence. He said as much as he claimed the metaverse will be the place where people will live, work, and play. We don't need more isolation. The COVID-19 lockdown served as evidence that loneliness makes us depressed, and for some people, leads them to abuse alcohol or prescription drugs. Our intimate interactions with others are crucial to maintaining good mental health. Reality cannot be replaced by virtuality. If we are careless enough to attempt to navigate this infinite maze of alluring gibberish in the metaverse, we will perish beneath an onslaught of relentless gigabytes. From our discussion, what have you learned? Please let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you in our next video.